channel. I'm here with another book review. I took a little break from YouTube. I made a whole video about that, so if you care about, you know, my personal life and what's been going on, that video will already be out by the time I put this one out. But if you're just here for the book review, I got you. This is a TikTok recommendation. The name Penelope Black might ring a bell for some of y'all, but I see her name a lot when it comes to like TikTok recommendations, and I have like a lot of her books in my to be TBR, you know. And today we're reviewing Gilded Princess. Now y'all, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't like it. And listen, I'm so easy. Like, I'm so easy. If I see even a simple screenshot of a book on TikTok, I will save it. Like, if I'm into what's going on in the screenshot, I will save it and I will read it. So this book has been in my library for quite some time, but I've just been like ignoring it. You know, like that song in your playlist, like when they come on, you just like ignore it. That's what I've been doing with this book because I don't like the cover. Like, I'm gonna show y'all the cover. This is the cover, okay? I don't like it. I didn't like it. So I was just like, I would just skip over it, right? And then finally, I was just like, fine, I'll read it. And it's not a long book. I got through it within like 2 days. I could have finished it in a day, but you know, I was trying to give myself like reading time. So I split it into 2 days, but it's a really short read. But yeah, girl, I don't think there's any trigger warnings. I don't think there's any trigger warnings, but I'm gonna spoil the hell out of this book, okay? And to be honest, I don't even know why I say that in like the beginning of my videos, because I feel like people who watch book reviews, they're watching a book review to see if people feel the same way about the book, not because like they don't want to read it, but like maybe y'all do watch it because y'all wanna know, like, I don't know. Anyway, this will be spoilers. I'm telling y'all everything that's going on in the book. If you want to read it yourself, but I'm gonna be telling y'all what's going on. Okay, also, disclaimer, I'm gonna be using the reference to Wattpad a lot, and when I say it reminds me of a Wattpad book, I'm not trying to like shit on Wattpad book. I started on Wattpad, kind of. I started on Tumblr, then I went to Wattpad, then I went to AO3, and now I'm a book girl. When I say Wattpad, I mean the writing, like the story has plot holes, first of all. Like, some stuff doesn't make sense, and also it's a little bit immature. Like, I get people who have like the argument, oh, but like they made Wattpad books into movies. The movies were bad. But the movies are bad, but nonetheless, you know, it's still enjoyable. Like, I didn't like the book, but I didn't hate it enough to stop reading it. So I did stick it out. It's honestly not that bad, but it's pretty bad. So like, I'm gonna pull up my notes because I took lots of notes. Like, this book was so bad I had to take notes. Look, I have like a whole page of notes. So y'all, I'm so excited. Like, I've been wanting to film a book review for so long, and I've been in a book slump. So this is exciting. So anyway, boom, right? So boom, we get into the book. We get into page 1. Rich girl. Her name is Madeline, okay? And she's a redhead. And now when she said Madeline redhead, I imagined Madeline Petch. I'm gonna put a photo. I imagined this diva right here. And I was just like, let's see how this fits into it, because like with her, the way I know her as an actress, this has nothing to do with it. Y'all, I'm just rambling. But anyway, as an actress, I feel like she would be able to play this character well, because like Cheryl Blossom type vibe, but like not really. Like, she's not like bitchy mean girl, but she's still like a rich girl, NYC. She has a twin sister. They tell us this within like the first 10 seconds, right? She's a twin. She lives in NYC. She goes to, I'm guessing it's a college because she's 19. I'm guessing it's an all-girls college. She stays in a dorm with her sister and her cousin, but her cousin is more like her sister because they're closer. And by the first like chapter, they letting us know her sister don't like her. Like, her sister is being so short with her. She's like, hey girl, there's this like ball for our school coming up and I want you to go with me. And her sister's like, no, like ask our cousin because like y'all is closer these days. And she's like, but like I can't ask our cousin because the cousin had got kidnapped. But then the cousin got like, she's safe right at this point. She got kidnapped, but she cool. And she's like living with her 4 stepbrothers that she's also like hooking up with. We will get there. We will get there. So her sister's like, yeah, I'm not going with you, go by yourself type. Okay. She's like upset or whatever. So she goes into this little coffee shop. She orders her little tea. They already know her because she go there all the time. And right off the bat, like, I would describe her style as like Valley Girl, because every time they talk about what she's wearing in the book, it's like, oh, she's wearing a sundress. Oh, she's wearing something really flowy. And in a lot of situations, it feels like her outfit does not match where she's at. Like, it sounds like, first of all, they make it a point to establish that she's rich. Okay, she's rich. All the girls she interacts with are rich. Everybody got some money. So why are you dressing? Anyway, neither here nor there. Her sister says she's not going. And so she's like, all right, whatever. She gets her tea. She forgets her wallet. She's like, my wallet is that. Hot guy comes behind her, pays for her drink, right? But let's take a pause for a second, because this book pissed me off so bad with the love interest. Okay, first of all, this is a reverse harem. I think this is my first reverse harem because, girl, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, every guy in this book looks the same. And usually I'm like, okay, the type of guy is the type of guy that I like in these books, right? But however, I hate every guy. Like, never mind. I'm gonna just continue. So I'm gonna put a photo. This is the archetype, you know, that they always put in the books. You know, he's tall, broad shoulders, wearing a suit, wearing like, you know, like business casual, I guess, like tight shirt, whatever. Oh, and his tattoos are poking out from under. Okay, you get what I'm saying? The typical hot mafia dude, right? I'm like, okay, I'm with you. I think I can get with this. Then, girl, they said he had on Ray-Bans. Now, I don't know if y'all still wear Ray-Bans, but Ray-Bans to me screams like 2012, 2014. And so when they said he had on Ray-Bans, I was just like, ugh. And I live in California, so like Ray-Bans is like douchebag glasses to me. So I'm like, like, that just took all the sexiness out of it. They were like, oh yeah, he had Ray-Bans clipped on his shirt. Like, that's the first thing that I had to start taking notes on. And mind you, we're only like maybe like a couple pages into the book. As soon as they said this man had on Ray-Bans clipped onto his shirt, I got so pissed off and I started taking notes. I was like, no. I feel like, no. Tall, hot man. This is what I put. Okay, this is what he had on. Tall, hot man in a polo with tattoos. Who the fuck still wears Ray-Bans clipped on their shirt? That is my first two notes that I have. I was just like, oh, okay, no. If he gonna be hot, just say he hot with the tattoos. You didn't have to add that shit. It was, anyway. And so their exchange after that was so fucking corny. So he pays for the tea. She walks out because she's about to go get fitted for her dress for this ball or whatever the fuck. And he's like, oh, can I get your name or something like that? And she's like, something should be left a mystery until I see you again, Americano, because I guess he ordered an Americano. And then she's like, she says something corny like that, like, bye, Americano. And I'm just like, ugh. Ew, girl. And she said, yeah, and I had like a flirty look on my face. Anyways, moving swiftly on, like, this book is so fucking cringy. How do I tell you? And so after that, we get a chapter 2, I think it is, or like the very next chapter. It's this guy's point of view. We don't know who the guy is yet, but we soon learn that is her ex. First of all, hold on. I was confused most of this book because we see the guy at the coffee shop. He pays for the coffee. He skirts off, right? And then we get the next chapter is somebody else's perspective, and it's this guy named Mateo. And I'm just like, okay, so like, what does he have to do with the nigga at the... I don't know, right? So I'm sticking with it. I'm confused, but I'm sticking with it. And he's like corny, like corny. I put chapter 2, corny Wattpad Mafia intro. This, he does the whole spiel, you know, oh, like, we're part of the biggest crime families in the world, and we're like gods in this town, and this is my sidekick, and he calls me on my shit, and da 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 da. I'm just like, ugh. I literally put fucking eye roll. And then he starts asking like his secondhand dude, his name is Dante, which he ends up being the only dude in this book that I really kind of like, but that's neither here nor there. So he's like
Madison Button calling her Maddie.
having like Dante stalk Madeline. I'm just gonna call her Maddie. we're gonna call her Maddie. So he has Dante stalking Maddie, and he's like, oh yeah, like I seen her at the coffee shop, and she seemed kind of sad. Da da da. And I'm like, okay, now, why didn't you tell him that you seen Shorty at the coffee shop with another dude? Because the reason he says she looks sad is because like she was being all sad and crybaby because her sister is like not fucking with her. Like her sister is keeping secrets from her or whatever the hell is going on. And so she was all sad. But if you supposed to be stalking her for your friend, your best friend, they besties, like they like this, why wouldn't you be like, oh yeah, like she was up in there with a dude? We'll come back to that, right? So I quickly learned, I put obsessed ex trope, because this dude is talking about like, oh, like I can't be with, like, his best friend is telling him like, you can't be with her, so you need to let her go type shit. Like, you got other things to worry about. Honestly, there was a lot of technical stuff in Mateo's chapters, but I kind of like tuned it out because I didn't give a fuck. Like, everything he was saying was so corny, and I don't want to hear I'm the biggest, and I gotta, girl, please, okay? He was talking about some war they got going on, and he was talking about the interconnectedness of the 5 families, and child, I didn't give a fuck, okay? And so he's talking about why he can't have her because it's too dangerous. And anyways, fast forward, I don't know what chapter we on now, but she goes to the ball. She described her outfit. The outfit sound kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie, the outfit sound kind of cute. She hits up one of her homegirls. Her name is Blair, I think. Blair is a little bitchy, and they compare Blair to Gossip Girl. Corny. And Blair, she got her little sidekicks, but they're not like mean girls. They're just like, you know, uppity rich girls that she's friends with, but they not like thieves. They just like cool. Like, they like, oh hey homegirl type shit. Like, we go to the same school, like we know each other, we cool. Like, I hang out with you at the ball. Blair kind of makes like a little snide comment about like, oh, like, why are you here by yourself? And she's like, oh, you know, I can scope the scenery out here if I'm by myself type. Okay. But like I said, her and Blair are friends. Like, they cool. So they just hanging out. She hanging out in like her little girl group. I think she goes to the bathroom for something. She comes to the bathroom. Mateo is there. He like, I forgot to mention, it's a masquerade. So everybody got on masks. Y'all, I'm actually getting upset. This book is so fucking cringy. Anyways, he rushes up behind her and they have like this steamy exchange. Anyway, also, I forgot to mention, I do not know how old Mateo is. He's an adult. He's older than her, I'm assuming. But I don't know how old he is. I read this book all the way through. I don't know how old he is. They never said how old he is. They just said that I think they said she's 19. I'm pretty sure they said she's 19. I have no idea. But yeah. Then he disappears into the rest of the night, and we don't hear from Mateo no more. She goes back to her friends. They chopping it up. Kiki. Homegirl, you want some coke? She's like, I don't even do drugs. That she don't do the coke. I'm just saying she don't do the coke, but her friend offers her coke, and then she's like, yeah, like they do coke, and like I know they already think weird of me because like I don't do that type of stuff, but you know they're gonna forget about it anyway. Blah blah blah, girl stuff, right? They said that this ball, they were waiting for oh, I forgot. They're 19. They're drinking champagne. They're okay, fine. I know that's what rich people do. Fine. And then I guess for the second half of the night, the DJ switches because they have it's a fundraiser for something. So like politicians are there, like people are there to do business or whatever. And they're all of the young people are waiting for the DJ to switch. Girl, why they said the DJ switched to some fucking EDM, bro? I was so mad. Like y'all, I hate EDM music. I really do. I accidentally went to a rave before, and that shit pissed me off. Like I left that place with a headache. Anyways, everybody bopping and fist pumping in Jersey Shore, and they in New York, by the way. So head ass. And her friends are dancing with like different people, and she's dancing with different guys. But then some guy she thinks is Mateo starts dancing with her, and then I forgot what happened. Like she made out with him or something in the middle of the dance floor, and then he kind of like pulls her off of the dance floor, and they go into like a dark corner of the ballroom, and they about to get into it, maybe. And you know, maybe they get into it. They was about to get into it, but she realizes that it's not Mateo. And then, like, there's this sequence, and she's like, "Oh my God, was I about to hook up with this guy? Like, I don't do stuff like that, but like, he's so hot and blah 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 blah." Right? Then the lights cut out. Shouldn't have took nigga dick for free. No, I'm just like, no, the lights turned off. The lights turned off, and everybody starts rioting in a ball, like rioting. And he like grabs her, whatever, and they trying to figure out a way to get out. But like, it's a ball, but like niggas are fighting. Like they said, people was throwing chairs at each other, and people was swinging at each other. Everybody was fighting. The girls was fighting, the dudes was fighting. And so her homegirls is like, "Oh, like I think I know another way out." So like, I guess the dude is trying to lead her out, and he's holding her hand. Her friends are like here. I don't understand the logistics. I was so confused during this scene. They're trying to get out because everybody's rioting. Some dude runs up to them with an object or something and tries to like hit them, and then the dude like swings or whatever. I forgot, but the dude does something. She's like, "Oh my God, that's so hot. Like he protected me." And so, like, she said something like, "Oh, I bet you're an Aries," or something like that. And, like, I guess he confirms that he's an Aries, so she starts calling him Aries for, like, the rest of the book. But, okay. Leads her out. They get out. And her friend has a rideshare, an Uber. She got an Uber Black waiting in the front. Everybody's filing out. Niggas are still fighting in the streets. And so she's talking to this dude, and I honestly don't even remember this part. Like, it was so much going on, mind you. And so I remember he has his arm around her, and they're like having a little moment before she gets in the car. And some other like frat dudes, they know the dude that's like, he still got the mask on, by the way. She don't. He got his arm around her, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like don't waste your time with that one. She's such a tease." Da, 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 da. Like she guards her like like some kind of gilded princess. And da, 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 da. I was just like, oh my God, this is so fucking cool. But they know this dude. Which, when we get to the end part, I'm gonna tell you why this doesn't make sense to me. But here nor there. Fine dude punches him. And he goes, "Oh, like, don't worry about those guys." Da, da, da. I think they shared a kiss. And then she gets in the car. And I think she asked for his name. I don't remember. Girl, she gets in the car. And her homegirl's like, "Who is that?" And she's like, "I have no idea." And then, she does a little trope where she's like, "Oh, I've seen in a movie or like a book or something that if he looks back, then y'all are meant to be." And he looks back, whatever. Girl, anyway, so time goes on, I believe, and her homegirl the Blair chick, she's like, oh, like, go to lunch with me. There's like some kind of event going on. And her homegirl's like, I think the hot guy from the other night will be there. And she's like, boom, I'm on my way. Because she was like, at first she didn't want to go. And she's like, I think I'm gonna be there. And you know what? That was probably one of the only times I was like, girl, you just like me. Because if it's a dude I like and I know he gonna be somewhere, and my homegirl saying, hey, he gonna be there, I'm there. I'm there because I just want to see him. Okay, been there, girl. So I've been there. And so, yeah. I actually stopped taking notes for a while because I kind of was like, I was into it a little bit. So she goes to this lunch thing, and honestly, I feel like they spent a lot of time describing the environment, and I still didn't get it. Like, girl, whatever. Some vintage shop, a lot of drapery, velvets, golds, whatever. It's a fancy, uppity, whatever, right? And so, she bored. She bored most of the time. There's really nothing going on. Like, all these people that she don't like, the frat boys, the girls, because like I was telling y'all, she goes to an all girls college, like prep school kind of college or whatever. And then there's a boys school, which is kind of like what I went through when I was in high school. Like, it was an all girls school, but we would do like events with the brother school or whatever. And so I guess that's what the lunch was for. And so she get bored. She's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. She goes to the bathroom. The lights turn off. Second time the lights turn off. I guess, I don't know. If y'all New Yorker, let me know if that's a thing. The lights just be cutting off. The lights cut off in the bathroom. And she's like, I can't see. You have a phone with a flashlight, but I digress. She can't see. She fumbled around the bathroom. And guess who in the bathroom? Aries. She's calling him Aries. I don't want to call him Aries. That shit's corny as fuck. She's like, Aries. Aries starts doing some fancy fingering on her. And to me, this is where it kind of lost me. Because I love a spicy book. Y'all know I love a spicy book. One, this book was not that spicy. Two, things were just happening too fast. You just met this girl the other night. All y'all did was make out. And now you just grabbing her in a dark bathroom. And you trying to get up in that. I was just like, bro, what? Like, what? It didn't make sense the way it happened. And I literally put that, I was like, too sexual, too soon, turning me off, okay? Like, nigga, I don't know you. Why are you touching my coochie? I don't give a fuck if he is hot. Hell no. Anyway, I think he made her nut or something. No, he didn't. He didn't make her nut. He almost got her there. And then Blair got to the door and was like, girl, where you at? I don't know how Blair didn't see this dude up in there. But he escaped somehow. This nigga think he's Spider-Man, Batman or something. He literally disappeared. And then she returns with her friend. And then shortly after she leaves, because she's like, oh, I wonder when I'm going to see him again. That was kind of hot. But, hold on. Let's backtrack a little bit. Because, mind you, she's only been with one person. And she's known for not, giving it up. She's known for, being a one-man kind of girl. And her friends are like pretty, I forgot to mention this part. This is like a big part of the story. So most of these girls, like her friend Blair, her cousin, I think, all the other girls, not her specifically. I don't think her cousin is either. I don't know. But they're in arranged marriages. Like, they're 19, I'm guessing, and they're all in arranged marriages, like, for political reasons and like wealth and whatever. So they're already meant to be marrying somebody wealthy, so they just kind of like sleep around or whatever. And her mom or whatever doesn't let her do that. Like, her mom isn't marrying her daughters off, so she just dates who she wants to date. And she's only been with one person, and that's Mateo. So this whole new dude, new meat type thing, it's kind of new for her. I think they said it was like 5 years since they've been together, maybe. maybe less. I have no idea. But yeah. So that's why this is like, oh shit, like why is she letting this happen? Like you're not even like that. And like we're gonna get there, but there's nothing wrong with being like that. I'm just saying, like, it's just not in her nature, and she was already like being weird about it. Anyway, so at this point that happens, she leaves the little get together or whatever, and I think either a day passes or maybe she goes to get some tea after that. She goes to the same tea place, runs into the same dude with the fucked up ass Ray-Bans, and he finally tells her his name. His name is Leo. Her name is Maddie. You're like, Leo. He asked her on a date. Okay, he asked her on a date, and I think she said it's been like 5 days since the ball. Oh no, it was 3 days after. So it was 3 days after. I think I remember that. So 5 days after the ball, 3 days after the little event luncheon thing she went with her friend, where she got fingered in the bathroom. And she sees this guy, and you know, he like her. They flirt. He asked her on a date. I don't remember if the date was the same day or if the date was like the day after. Oh no, I think I do remember that. She was like, I can't do it tonight, but we can do it tomorrow. So they go on a date the next day. Now, she talks to her cousin, I think. I know she's on a call with her cousin. Her cousin's like, oh, like, I'm about to be in town, because like her cousin is still in hiding or something. And so she goes home, and she's like talking to her cousin. Her sister's not there. Her sister leaves a note or something, because like her sister is off doing God knows what. Won't talk to her. Weirdo. And so her cousin's like, yeah, like we can meet for lunch. So her plan is to meet with her cousin before she goes on this date, because the date is like a little bit later. Whatever. And I think what happens. So she's getting dressed up. We got a little chapter about her getting dressed up. She look good. She leaving a little dormitory. Guess who's there? Mateo. We don't know why he's there. But he's there. He see her looking all good. She almost falls into some rose bushes or something. He snatches her little ass up, and he saves her. And she's like, okay, like, what are you doing here? This is all girls. I guess, was he in the neighborhood or like was he in front of the place? I don't remember. But he's like, oh, like I was in the neighborhood. I'm visiting a friend. And she's like, okay, it's good you have friends, because I think she know that nigga ain't got no friends. So she goes, gets in her Uber, goes to the little place to go visit her cousin. But wait. No, I'm skipping some parts. She goes to the date. This is later on. Okay. She goes to the date. The rose bush thing happens. Like, she runs into Mateo. She gets out. She gets in the Uber. Goes on her date. It's a cute little Italian restaurant. He's like, oh, like, I didn't want to tell you until later on, but like my family owns this restaurant. Right? They on their date. They enjoyed each other. Leo is being such a gentleman. Like, even though he can't dress and he seems kind of fuckboyish, remember, he still got the tattoos all over. He's still big, muscular, he's funny, he's smooth, right? And so it's weird because right before this chapter, we get something with Mateo ass. He's talking about oh yeah, like we'll have a meeting at the same restaurant, but later on in the day. So I'm thinking he gonna run into her at the restaurant, but that never happened. So I'm just like, why is this chapter pointless? Okay, anyways, they don't run into each other there. He don't see her on a date, whatever. But Leo, sweet dude. They go outside. They kiss under the tree. He shows her the tree with his name on it. And girl, I don't know. I was like, okay, I'm not feeling the dude, but fine. And he's like, oh, you know how I get when you say, like, he wrote his full name, which is Leonardo. Nigga think he a Ninja Turtle. But anyways, and so he's like, oh, you know how I get when you say my name. Anyway, she gets in the car. They schedule another date for another day. That's when the whole thing with her cousin happens. She's supposed to meet up with her cousin before the second date. That's what it is. So she goes to meet up with her cousin at some cute little cafe. I guess it's a million cafes in New York. I ain't never heard of it. Because, like, honestly, when I think of New York, I do not think bougie vintage cafes. I don't think y'all got cafes everywhere. But if you're from New York, let me know. But yeah, this girl always at a cafe somewhere. She loved like a damn cafe. Anyway, so before she gets into the cafe, she get kidnapped. It's not funny. It's not funny. Before she get in the whatever, she get kidnapped, and they gumba her ass, and they put her in a warehouse. Now, fast forward, not really fast forward, but we're gonna fast forward to the chapter of her getting kidnapped. It's just her talking about how she's scared in this warehouse. Come to find out, they kidnapped the wrong person. Also, I forgot to mention, in the beginning of the book, I did say she has a sister. Did I say she had a twin sister? Her sister is a twin. And then there's her cousin. Why did they kidnap her thinking that she was the cousin? Apparently, like, this is what I mean by the Wattpad writing. Because they were like, oh, she was like, oh yeah, like, they kidnapped me thinking I was my cousin. I don't know what the cousin name, I forgot. But she was like, I guess we look so similar. Because, oh, I forgot to mention, her mom is a twin, and then her and her sister are twins. I'm pretty sure that's possible, but it's getting a little bit corny at this point because we'll get to that later. But I'll tell you why it's a little bit corny. So apparently she looks like her cousin. Whatever. They kidnap her because they think she's the cousin. I don't know what her cousin got going on, so where they want to kidnap her all the time. But hey, I wouldn't be hanging around with Shorty, because what you mean we finna go to lunch and I get kidnapped because they think I'm you. She's scared. Her cousin runs into the building that's collapsing and saves her. Like, I'm not even joking. 90% of this chapter was stuff crashed from the ceiling. All I hear is blams and shit crashing and oh my god, and I don't know how my cousin did it, but she was dodging all this crashing ceiling and she gets me out of the building. First of all, how was your cousin there? Your cousin just had to go into hiding. How she know how to dodge falling buildings, and why is she snatching you through a building and you halfway anyway, her cousin get out the building. She called Mateo. The police is on their way, but she called Mateo. Lord knows why. She calls Mateo and Mateo is like, okay, I'm on my way, don't move. He get there, she getting treated by the cops. They start asking questions and he's like being rude to the cops. Girl, this girl that got a concussion. She bleeding everywhere. Probably got whatever. She faints again. That's when she wake up. Okay, yeah, that's where she wake up, and she's at Mateo's apartment. We've been there. Okay, if you a romance girl, everybody faint somewhere, and you wake up in a fine mafia man's apartment. Okay. I'm probably skipping chapters about Mateo and what Mateo got to say, and it's probably because all of Mateo's chapters is, oh, it's so much going on with the family, and people we at war, and I gotta be strong because I'm about to take over the girl. Anyway, pissing contest with himself. I don't care. Anyway, she's like, oh, like I never been to his house. Like the whole time we dated, I never been to his house. I didn't even know he had a house. Okay, girl. Okay. Anyways, apparently he has a deep voice. Mateo honestly sounds hot. I'm not gonna lie. Mateo sound hot, but he's no Ace. Okay. He's no Nicholas Russo. He's a Rossi, but he's not a Russo. We love Nico on this channel. Okay, Nico is my man. This dude can't be Nico. And like I said, I don't know how old this nigga is. Okay, still don't know. Anyway, he leave her at the apartment. He let her know what's going on. He's like, okay, you gotta stay here, stay for here. You gonna live here permanently. And she's like, permanently? And he doesn't explain that there's a war going on. She don't even. Anyway, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there, I promise. I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can, okay? So, where was I? Yeah. So she's staying here. He's like, you're gonna have to stay here permanently. And she's just like, all right. Okay. He's like, let me know if you need anything. There's food all over the table. Right? Dante, the right hand man, ends up having to babysit her. Day in and day out, they hanging out, they watching movies. Dante is fine, okay? Dante got the tattoos, blah, blah, blah. But the reason I think I like Dante out of all of the dudes in this book, like, I only like Dante, is because he don't say much. He's quiet. He shut the fuck up. He got his fine ass tattoos. He be dressed. And like everybody in this book, every dude in this book is wearing a suit. 24/7, they got a suit on. Except for the time where Dante is at the house and he got on sweats and a t-shirt or a long sleeve t-shirt. Dante sound fine, okay? Dante don't say nothing. He sound fine. He real stoic. I like that. I like the quiet ones. I like the ones that look mean and quiet and like they can do something to somebody. I love that. Oh my God. So her and Dante is like besties. They have like some deep conversations about like death and the afterlife or whatever. They watching movies, and I think he ain't ever seen a Game of Thrones, and so they started watching Game of Thrones or whatever. And that's really like nothing really crazy happens with her and Dante, but she does have a crush, and she's going over the fact that she has multiple crushes on men, and that's never happened to her. Like, I get it, but we'll get into like her whole mental process a little bit later. We get some chapters with Mateo and his shit, and people is dying and hell is breaking loose in the mafia world. I don't care. I love a good mafia book. There's so many mafia books that I've read. There's another book series that I plan to read again for the channel, and I've never been so bored with a mafia book before because it just comes off so corny and just childish, and it just could have been better written. But what happened? What's the tea? I think we just going through days. I think it's been like a week at this point, and she got a crush on Dante. Mateo's barely ever home. Dante's whole thing is to watch her. She ends up somehow, what happens? He's cooking and she come up behind him and starts rubbing on him and stuff, and then he pin her on the counter, and like they kind of do like, they don't kiss, but they lips brush a little bit. I forgot what happened, but somehow they end up on the couch. She's like straddling him on the couch, right? She's about to kiss him, and then somebody comes in, but it's dark. I guess I don't know, it's dark, and the person is just walking in the house yapping. You go in the kitchen. I get, like, she says like earlier that it's an open floor plan, so I don't know how you don't walk into your house and into your kitchen and you don't see that there's two people right there. Like, when I walk into my house, I'm looking around, I'm scanning, I'm scoping the scenery, I'm scanning the area. He just walk into the kitchen, he talking, he going in, and he finally gets to the living room, even though it's an open floor plan. She said that. So I'm like, how he didn't see y'all before? We don't know who it is until he's like, first of all, the dude sounds like a dick. Okay, he being real misogynistic. He's like, oh yeah, like this girl stood me up, like he's talking about her like she a hoe. And he sees that Dante's on the couch with somebody, and he like, oh, like you bringing a girl to my brother's house, like you ain't ever did that before. He don't let nobody come up in here, like why are you right? And so he grabs Maddie by the hair and is like, let's see what you look like. What do you mean you grab her by the hair? Your homie is on the couch with somebody and you just, hey, anyways. And they see that it's Leo, and this is what pissed me off, because I'm like, okay, Leo came off as like a mature good guy. Come to find out, he's Mateo's younger brother, and I mean like younger. So I think they said like later on that he's 5 years younger than him, or maybe it's 3 years. Those numbers are very similar, so 5 to 3 years younger than Mateo. So Maddie's 19. I don't know the age gap between it. Like, the age gap doesn't matter. I'm just trying to establish ages, because when we first got introduced to Leo, I'm assuming that he's like an older dude. Like he came off like as an older, more mature dude. But like in this chapter, he comes off like his personality switch. I literally wrote that, like his personality change was drastic. Like I get that dudes are like that. Like dudes will come off a certain way when they're dating you, and then to their homies they're like totally different. But it felt like almost this was like two different people, the way he was talking when he came into that apartment. I was just like, this is the dude. Like it didn't make sense. And finding out that he was a younger brother, I'm like, how old is everybody? Like how old is everybody? So they have a little standoff, and he ends up, you know, talking about like, oh, this is the girl that stood me up for the date because she never showed up for the second date. And she don't even tell him like, yeah, like I got kidnapped. She didn't mention that. She's just like, I had a good reason and whatever. Then like Leo doesn't know that Mateo has dated Maddie. He just seen them two on the couch. And so he's like, how about I tell my brother that you doing da-da-da in his house? And Dante is like, well, he has cameras, so I'm sure he knows. What? So you know that he's watching. You still kiss his girl, the one that he talks about 24/7 to you, the girl that he's been obsessed with forever. Like he's been talking, like 90% of the chapter is either about him talking about, oh, it's a war, blah, 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 and oh, I love her so bad, and I just want her, but I can't have her, and I live, breathe, and shit this girl. Like, what? That's your best friend. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So you doing this with her, you know he watching. Then Mateo comes home, and then he introduces the brother to Maddie. And he goes, yeah, this is my ex-girlfriend. Girl, that chapter was so awkward because everybody's like, you're what? Like Leo's like, oh, that's great. Like, that's great. And then Mateo was like, the fuck you mean? Like, you got something to say? And then it comes out that Maddie has been seeing Leo. And yeah, they all about to beat each other ass, except for Dante. Dante's just there being his hot, quiet self, and then these two is going at it. Honestly, very boring. That part is probably interesting. The only interesting part, really, to me, is the whole reveal that they was together. But then we get, okay, so this is where we start talking about Maddie's thought process, because her thing is she sees her cousin who's dating these 4 guys, and by dating I mean like she's dating all 4 of them at the same time, but she has a favorite. Like she hooking up with all of them, but she got a favorite. And she's never been like that. She knows her friends do that, but she's okay. I'm not shaming her, and I'm not shaming nobody for, you know, hooking up with different people, but it's the reasoning why. You get what I mean? Like, her reasoning is what made me like, this is fucking stupid. Because normally, like, okay, if you want to hook up with different people, it's empowering. You do it because you feel good. But I don't agree with it when it's, I'm doing this because everybody leaves me anyway. And, like, everybody's just going to disappoint me anyway. Like, first of all, you've never been like that. You've only dated one person. And the switch from, I don't want everybody being with me, to I think I want to hook up with all 4 of these guys is crazy. Like, and on top of that, like, the way Leo is talking about, like, you heard the way he's talking about you to another man, and you're still like, he's so hot, like, I want to be with him. Hell no. And the whole time she's acting like she doesn't even want Mateo. So it's really on, like, for most of it, it's like she's not even thinking about Leo when she's with Dante. She's vaguely thinking about the Aries dude. And then when she gets back to her room and she's thinking about, like, the situation where there's all these men, her reasoning is just so dumb. Like, she's like, I want to give it a try because my friends do it, and, like, you know, I want to have my power. But, like, you're not really having your power because this nigga is literally talking about you like you're nothing. Like, he's just trying to smash. Like, anyway. So, I think I literally put that. I said, Leo's personality change was drastic, and I should have known that from the fucking Ray-Bans. That's so true. Okay? But then I said, Maddie is dumb. Okay, this is what happens. So after the whole blow up, right? That night, she goes to Leo's room to talk to him about everything that's going on and why she stood him up and, you know, the whole situation with his brother, blah, 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 right? He ends up, okay? And she does her thing. This is the second time, by the way, but she actually does her thing. And Mateo walks in. This is why I said she's dumb, because out of all of these dudes, he treats you with the least respect. Even the conversation that she was having with him when she went in his room, it was giving like he was judging her a little bit. And it's like, he's just doing this to get mad at, like, to get back at his brother. And like, him and Leo and the Aries dude, even, I feel like the Aries dude seemed like he actually liked her a little bit, even though he was being a hoe too. Like, him being so sexual so soon was a turnoff. He seemed like he cared about her more than Leo did. Like, it just seemed like Leo was playing a character just to get some out of her, and he kind of like said that when he came into the apartment. So the fact that she was just okay with that was weird. And then she just nutted in front of her ex, who walked in the room, and then she goes back to her room and they start having an argument and a fight or whatever. We'll get to that. But she goes back to her room and she's like, I'm trying not to feel shame about it. So like, you know that shit is weird. Just saying, you know that shit is weird, because it's not like he was still that sweet guy. Like, I don't know, that's just me probably projecting. I'm not having no dude that talks about me like that. You're not touching me. Okay? And they haven't even been on 2 dates yet. So he showed his card, and that's the one that she's really like, at this point, that's her favorite. She's weird. And she's dumb. And I said, dare I say, no self-respect. And I'm not even one of those people that goes, oh, like, if you sleep around, you have no self-respect. You should be sleeping with people who still value you as a human being. Like, that's just the bare minimum. Like, if I'm going to sleep with you, let's say I was the type of person that, you know, dates around and sleeps with people. I'm not the type of person. But I would at least want to do it with somebody who sees me as a human, who doesn't, you know, treat me like I'm just some piece of ass, because that's all he was really talking about her with, like with Dante or whatever. So dumb. He's her favorite for what? Do you hate yourself? And maybe she does. Maybe she does hate herself, because throughout the whole book, she don't got no daddy. And I don't believe in daddy issues, because everybody got the same issues. Everybody has the same requirements. But her mama don't love her. Her mom chooses men over her daughters all the time. Her mom is very much male-centered. She has to play wing woman for her mom. Her mom criticizes her body, always has something negative to say about her. She even says in one part that her mom is the type of person that shouldn't have children. So she ain't got no love in the home. And it's giving, you letting these niggas treat you like this, or you letting this one treat you like this because you used to not being loved. And you know, and you feel like that's what you deserve. That's all. That's just how I see it. Like, you're letting people treat you like shit because you're used to getting treated like shit. But here nor there. I said, so right after we get the chapter with Mateo, and he does this whole thing. He says, I said Mateo was corny. He goes, I'm not my father. I'm not going to use my fist instead of my words, because he wants to fight his brother for, you know, making his girl nut. And I'm like, girl, shut the fuck up. I'm not my father. I'm not gonna use my fist instead of my words. You're not threatening. You're not scary. And if you do look hot, that's corny as hell. Like, I literally said, this nigga is corny as hell. I said, girl, question mark, get the fuck. And I was like, of course she likes the one that doesn't really care about her instead of the one that actually cares about her. Like, Leo doesn't value her the way Mateo does. Hell, even the way Dante does. Neither one of the newcomers. I mean, they're all newcomers, but Leo and Aries don't really value her the same way. And the only thing is, I will give Aries a pass because he don't judge her. He doesn't judge her. Leo? Anyway, she talks about how she's dancing with shame after the Leo thing. Oh, I did put this sound off in the comments. I said, I don't know what a summer dress is in white woman definition. Because do y'all remember the whole thing on TikTok where everybody was arguing over what a sundress was? Like I said, everything she puts on, it kind of reminds me of Mila from the third Maid series book. I don't remember what it's called. The Darkest something. That one. Mila, she always put on a sundress, something yellow, blah, blah, blah. That's what I thought of when she talked about the outfit that she put on, okay? And this is the next day. This is after she get finger blasted in front of her ex. So she puts on her sundress and she creeps in the house, and all three of them are arguing over her, except Dante. Dante's just standing there. But Leo and Mateo are arguing over her like she's a piece of property. And this is why, like, I feel like if people read this book, they probably liked it, because from what I've seen, people like the book. But I feel like it's pretty obvious who actually cares about her. Like, obviously, Mateo, they dated. He loved her. He still loves her. He loves her. But Leo was like, oh, that's my girl. Da 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 da. And so she's just watching them argue over her like she's a piece of meat. But honestly, if I want anybody to have her, it's Mateo. Sorry, not sorry. He actually, we know that he's the only one that actually, like, loves this girl. And she finally goes, stop, like, I can have sex with who I want, and da da da. And, you know, I like all of you, and if that's a problem, like, let me know, but blah blah blah. And she does her whole speech, but they get a text about something going on. Somebody got killed, somebody's wife got killed and dropped off at their front doorstep, and everybody's like, okay, well, we gotta go. And she's like, well, what? I can help. And Mateo's like, girl, this is not a ball. This is not a school dance, girl. You can't help with nothing. And she starts crying. And Dante is the one that's like, stop, don't leave. Because she's ready to leave. She's like, yeah, like, I'm going to leave. And Dante's like, don't leave. I want you here. Blah, 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 blah. And so then they all leave and go handle their mafia boy business. I forgot what happens to her though. Yeah, I was like, she gets mad that they're talking about her like she's property, but she put herself in the situation. Anyway. And then I think I put Mateo was only 22. I think during their argument they said something about like I think it's only like, he was like, oh, you're only 3 years older than me type shit or something like that. So I guess Mateo was 22, but he honestly comes off as younger and Leo comes off as older. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. So I said, I get why Mateo doesn't see her as an equal, because based on the actions, she is dumb. He seems blunt, but I don't think like what he was saying to her was like trying to be mean. Like, she was honestly dumb as fuck. Okay. The girls in the romance novels aren't this dumb, because she keeps referencing like, oh, I read romance novels, like, oh, I love romance novels, and I'm like, every romance novel I've read, the girl is not this fucking stupid. But you know, so yeah, she storms out of the apartment. Leo is not in the business, okay? He's not in the mafia business yet, okay? So she storms off out of the apartment and they go do their thing, and then Leo finds her at another fancy bookish coffee shop trying to go get her tea. And he's like, oh yeah, like I've been to 12 coffee shops looking for you, and you know, where else would I find you? Okay, blah blah blah, whatever. They're talking, and I forgot to mention this in a couple of chapters before. I think it's the chapter where they was about to fight in the bedroom, the boys, Mateo and Leo. Mateo tells him about like the family and like a little bit about what's going on. Like he doesn't give him too much information, but he tells him like a little bit what's going on in like that side of the world, the mafia world. And so this is when Leo tells Maddie like, yeah, like Mateo's in the mob, like and she's like, what? Like, I don't know how she didn't realize that. Like, you've never been to his house. He got hella tattoos. He wears suits all the time. Like, she ran into this man so many times out in public, and he's dressed like a mafia dude. Like, he's dressed like this. And you didn't pick up, giving whatever that book was that I read, and she's like, you're in the mob? I don't want to be a mob wife. Anyways, like, I don't know how she didn't pick that up, but anyway, like, what did you think he did? You dated him. What do you think he did? And she didn't even meet his family. Like, she doesn't know anybody in his family. So they have that conversation, and she's like, I have to go to the bathroom. This girl goes to the bathroom. The lights turn off again. And she gets locked in the bathroom, and she gets a text that says like, oh, you're in danger, you need to run. She don't know who the text is from. We honestly don't find out who the text is from. And she texts Leo to come break the door down. He breaks the door down. This is what doesn't make sense to me. You in a little bitty coffee shop, right? There's people there. How did the lights turn off in the bathroom and nowhere else in the coffee shop? Because she calls Leo and she's like, I'm locked in the bathroom, the lights cut off. And he's like, lights? What lights? He get her out of there. She doesn't tell him about the text, but he gets her out of there. And she's like, oh, I'm looking around the coffee shop to see if anybody looks suspicious, but everybody's just smiling and enjoying their coffee. Why is nobody reacting to the fact that this nigga just busted the door down in the back of it? Like, I've been to a Starbucks and the little bathroom be on the side. Everybody would be turning around looking like, girl, what the hell? Somebody just kicked the door into the bathroom. And why did Anyway, they go back to the apartment. It looked like somebody had been in there. By the time they get there, Mateo and Dante are already there. They're like, oh, somebody broke in. So after they leave and they see the apartment is broken into, but before that, we get a chapter with Mateo. He's at a meeting with his dad, all these other mafia dudes. Dante standing in the back like these. Okay. And you know, they doing a pissing contest thing. If y'all are all equal, why does it seem like Mateo and the daddy are the boss? Like, I think Mateo is set to take over his specific family when he gets married. And neither here nor there. They do some talking. And I guess one of the other dudes wants him to marry his daughter. Like, they want Mateo to marry his daughter. Mateo's like, oh, I'm already engaged. And the dad is like, oh, who is it? Anyway, they threaten each other back and forth over the table, over like stupid shit, you know, everybody trying to show how big their dick is at this point, and it's really corny. He gets a random whisper from Dante because his phone keeps ringing. He's like, okay, whatever. This dude is, first of all, let me just say this. He keeps saying in the chapter that he can't think about Maddie right now because there's bigger things going on, but he keeps bringing his brain back to Maddie. And I think y'all gonna be like, oh, well, that's a writing choice. Like, you know, it's trying to show that he's really No, because it didn't give that. It gave, you know, like when an actress is bad, it's not giving that she's in character, it's giving that she's just a bad actress. Okay, so neither here nor there. He keep thinking about her, and he's, oh, my heart. Somebody's like, are you okay? Because he's thinking about her. He's like, yeah, I'm cool. So his phone keeps ringing. He ignores it. Dante gets the same call. That's him finding out the apartment got broken into. We jump that apartment, and I just put something together in my head, but we're not there yet. So, Mateo pushes her away because it's too dangerous. The apartment got broken into. He tells her he doesn't want her here. She needs to get the fuck out. He don't say that, but like he says like some mean stuff to her. He doesn't mean it, obviously, but he's just trying to like push her away because he can't tell her. But she already knows because Leo just told her that, you know, she's in the mafia. And she tries to do this thing where she's like, don't cut me out, like this is me, like look at me, like I know, blah, 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 blah. And this is what I was trying to say. Earlier in the book, he says that having a wife is a vulnerability and that he can't be with her in whatever, right? So he's protecting her because I guess like it's dangerous, but nobody knows that. Sorry, my cat's running around. Nobody knows that she's connected to him, but it's still dangerous for her. So why are you kicking her out and telling her to go home if you know that it's dangerous? She just got kidnapped like last week. But then you tell it like in your head, you're like, you want to marry her, but you just said that having a wife is a vulnerability because somebody else's wife just got put on a doorstep. But now you're saying you're about to marry her. And then Dante already told you that you can't marry her because you've been saying that you can't marry her. It's so confusing and it doesn't make sense. But moving swiftly on, he contrives a whole plan for the doorman to stop her before she gets into the cab to go home. The Uber, sorry, to go home. And then he runs downstairs and goes, I need to talk to you. Like, let's just go to the safe house. And he's like, Leo and Dante will be there. Don't worry. They go to the safe house. And I guess like they're talking in the car and he's trying to like, he's like, I can't talk to you here. He tries to talk to her when they get to the safe house. He's telling her, y'all, I'm so tired of this damn book. Hold on, we almost done, I promise. Okay, so put it on 2x speed, okay? So he tells her, I guess that he's in the mafia, and she's like, yeah, like Lee already told me, da da da. She goes like, what do you want? And she's like, you. And they kiss, and he's like, I don't think that's true because like you were my homie and my brother too. And like, I don't know, like I forgot. Anyway, he's trying to go get some food because they ain't got no food in the house. And somebody busting the door, shoot him like 4 times. She grabs the gun out of his waistband. She thinks she mad as hell. Oh, I have to save the situation. I can't be a victim. My sister watches true crime documentaries. I have to fight back. She shoots. She misses. She shoots. She hits somebody. And then they get the gun from her. They gun butt her, kidnap her. Right? You think it's over. We think it's over. We all think it's over. They said something. You know, this is a message from whoever. Blah blah blah. We get the final chapter. We almost done, y'all. I promise. Okay. My back hurt. This book was fucking awful. Anyway, so it's an Aries chapter. We ain't hear from Aries all book. We ain't seen Aries since he fingered her in the bathroom. Okay, and this was like the first 5% of the book. Anyway, Aries is there. He's like, oh, I'm looking at a feed. He's at another gala or something, and he's like, I'm looking at the feed for my safe house. Like, what is he doing there? He brought a girl there, but I can't really see who the girl is. And he's like, then he's kissing her, and then she turns around, and it's Raven, my Raven. He calls her Raven because she had on like a dress with birds on it, because it was an Enchanted Forest theme gala when he met her. That's cute. I'm gonna do that one day. But anyway, he feels some tight. My cat has his zoomies. He has some tightness in his chest because that's his girl. Y'all, I'm about to spoil this. I'm about to cry, and I'm also about to cry because this is so fucking corny. Girl, Aries and Mateo are twins. What is my twin brother doing with my girl? The last thing I put in my notes is Mateo and Aries and twins. I'm fucking pissed. What is with everybody being twins? What is this soap opera ass story? My twin brother with my girl? your girl. You seen her twice. You ain't reached out to her since. She done been kidnapped. You ain't been keeping up with her. How is she your girl? Anyway, I still don't know how old they are, because how did he go to the Gap? Okay, first of all, they was both there. I get it. Him and his brother was both there. But how, like, why did he know the other frat dudes if you're way past being in school, I think? Because if Mateo went there, wouldn't he still be in school? Because I think Mateo and Maddie met in school. So I don't get it. It didn't make sense. That's why I said this was Wattpad writing. It didn't make sense. They were twins. I was pissed off. And then they gave like a little thing at the end to be like, oh, like, check out the next book. I didn't give a fuck at that point. I'm like, I'm not reading the second book because this is actually infuriating. Like, it wasn't bad to where I had to DNF it, but it was bad to where when I got to that ending, I was hot. I was like, yeah, this was a waste of time. Because what do you mean? So it ends off in a cliffhanger. She get kidnapped, and we see him looking at the feed, and he reveals that child. Anyway, so I'm giving this I want to say a 2.5 so bad, but I'm gonna give it a 3. I'll give it a 3. There's probably more I wanted to say about it, about her, about, you know, her perspective on things. It still don't make sense. Her reasoning for doing all of this is very stupid. She's very stupid.
Girl, I forgot to mention, at the end, when Mateo was like, oh, like, what do you want? She over here talking about some hopeless romantic shit, and he trying to tell her that people is dying and that the world is dangerous right now, and she only care about some damn romance. Girl, anyway.
The book was very stupid. The writing was stupid. I'm still gonna read another Penelope Black book because there's so many that were recommended. Apparently, this is a follow-up to the Brotherhood series. I think that's already on my list, but I didn't know that, and I really pray and hope that it's nothing like this shit, because girl, okay, I'm not reading the rest of it. She got another book after this. I'm not reading it. I couldn't do it. But yeah, 3 out of 5. Spice, I would give the Spice a 1, because usually like it was, but it really, like, nothing was going on. They was too busy putting together stories that didn't make sense. So, you know, without the 2 scenes, or, you know, that's about it. I didn't really, yeah. Dante, best boy, that's it. Anyway, if you like this video, please put a like down below, leave a comment, leave me book recommendations, let me know what you think. If you read the book, what did you think? Let's talk about it, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.